Hello true believers and welcome back to Sight to Astonish. Now, I'm a little bit unwell, but this is a video that I've been wanting to record since the Fortnite Iron Spider skin came out, and boy does it look good. But it got me thinking about how much I dislike this suit in general. So I'd like to take this video to talk about why I don't really like the Iron Spider costume, and why I think it might be one of the worst Spider-Man costumes to ever exist, personally, in my opinion, that is, of course. But I just want to start talking about the suit itself in Fortnite, and I gotta say, from page to game, it's a pretty good adaptation. There's a lot of panel lining, but, you know, you live with it. I still think it looks quite good. The overall suit, the colours, the gold, the way it reflects, beautiful, love it, it's amazing. But since I don't really like this suit, I can't rank it as the highest suit in this game, but I can say that I do like it quite a lot comparatively to other Iron Spider suits that exist in media. With that being said, my least favourite is definitely the Iron Spider suit from the MCU. This costume might be one of the worst Spider-Man costumes to ever exist, ever. I absolutely hate this costume. I think it is just flat out the worst. From the really shabby lining of the suit, from the amount of weird gold and blue, from the amount of blue on the suit in general, the way the web pattern is, the eyes, just the whole thing about the suit I really don't vibe with, and I have hated it since it first appeared. I generally don't like to hate on a lot of Spider-Man stuff, but this is the one Spider-Man thing I can't find myself doing anything but hating on. I just don't think this is a good suit in the MCU. Hell, I don't think it's a good suit in most places, and the way I'd like to point this out is, let's take a look at the suit inside of multiple different games. I mean, this Iron Spider suit has been in both Marvel Spider-Man PS4 and in Avengers, and in both it looks rather terrible. I think that it's impossible to make this suit look good in many places, especially inside of video games, and when in the movies it doesn't look very good itself, I can't see how they managed to translate it into video games and somehow make it look worse. I mean, in Spider-Man PS4 this suit is at its worst, where it is strangely orange in colour and looks just completely off to how it did in the movie. No, insult to Insomniac at all. I'm sure they themselves tried really hard with this suit in this game, but man, I just think it looks terrible in this game. And I mean, it's slightly improved in Marvel Spider-Man 2 and in the remaster, but I still think it looks terrible, and that is just down to the way the suit looks in general. It is messy and gross, and I just don't like it. In Avengers, I will say this suit looks a tiny bit better. It looks more screen accurate, but is that a good thing when the suit looks bad in general? I don't think so. With that being said, there are some good versions of this suit. Mainly, most of the ones that stick very close to the original adaptation of this suit, which I'm not saying the original is the best version of the suit, but to me, yeah, it kind of is. It looks the best in its original comic, and the Alex Ross art that is made for this suit is generally quite nice. In fact, I typically prefer the Alex Ross art of this suit because it looks more like a shiny bodysuit that is just made of some cool high-tech armor instead of a large, bulky, heavy iron suit that was made by Iron Man. Even though the suit has always been made by Iron Man, or at least I think in most adaptations it's always been made by Iron Man. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's always been made by Iron Man, except from with Miles' suit, which was made by someone else, but I haven't read that comic run, so I wouldn't really know. Though, with all these strong opinions of this costume, I will say I do have a favourite version, and that has to be the Alex Ross art version. I know it's not a new version of the suit in general, I just typically prefer Alex Ross's art when it comes to this costume. I like the way it is designed here. I like the gorgeous way the red is shiny, and it still kind of looks like a normal suit with armoured yellow pieces, and I just prefer that with this costume. Now, I know it's an Iron Man suit, so it's made of armour, and I get that that's one of the reasons that a lot of people like it, but I feel like it's often too over-designed in a lot of media, even when they try and just use the regular version of this suit. I mean, look at the Marvel Spider-Man version of this suit in its base form. I like this suit a lot, but I don't really use it because I feel like it's really over-designed, and what you're looking at here is the Marvel Spider-Man 2 version of this, which means it is a higher fidelity than in any other game at the moment, but I just still feel like it's a little bit too over-designed. Again, the Fortnite one is really like the sweet spot for me, where it's still kind of a little bit over-designed, but it still looks quite good. Furthermore, since this is a popular suit, there are many different toys based around this suit. There's your typical bargain bin $12.99 suits, there's a couple of Hasbro Legends, and there is the Mayfex and Figure Arts, I believe, styled. If there's no Figure Arts ones, again, in the comments below, tell me that there isn't one. I'm a silly boy. But I think there is a Figure Arts one, and if not, there's most likely a Figure Arts version of the movie version, which I think there is. But I'd also like to talk about Miles' version of this costume, because Miles' Iron Spider suit is also very impressive. I prefer the colour scheming on this one. It looks quite nice. And I like the red arms with the black bodysuit. I just think that looks really cool. And personally, I feel like that might be something that this costume is missing for me, really. I feel like it's just missing a little bit of that pizzazz. Now, the original suit and Miles' suit do have that, as well as the original suit only having 3 arms compared to the 4 arms that it's usually shown with now. But there's something about this suit that just doesn't have that wow factor for me that it did when, like, I first saw it. I mean, even when I first saw it, I thought, that's a pretty cool costume. Why? And nowadays, I think that's a pretty cool costume. Ugh. I feel like it's just been a slowly growing hatred towards this costume, which is why I deem it to be the worst Spider-Man costume, even though in reality it definitely isn't the worst one. It's just the one that I think of when I think, I don't like this costume. That being said, though, I think the one that I hate the most definitely has to be the MCU one. I really, really hate that version of the suit. I could go on for hours about how much I hate this suit, but if you have differing opinions, please let me know in the comments below. I know that some people do like this costume, and I don't want to be sitting here saying that I absolutely hate this costume. If you can change my mind, if you can point out reasons as to why you think it might be better, let me know. I will love to read and see what you guys are talking about with this suit, because I know that this is just my own opinion and that plenty of people can love this suit. So please do let me know. If you love this suit, let me know why you love it, and I will look at them and maybe it'll change my mind. But to be fair, this suit also has some very cool toys. I mean, I gotta say, a lot of the toys for the base Iron Spider look really cool. I mean, there's the Marvel Legends, which I happen to own, which does look really nice. There are some Mafex ones, which look really nice. I think there's an MCU Figure Arts one, which I still don't really vibe with, but hey, it still looks kind of nice. There's a lot of good versions and toys of this costume that really do stick out, and again, the Fortnite one is definitely one that I think is better on the list, mainly because it takes that over-designed, gamified model that you usually get of this costume, and it slims it down a little bit while still having it have a lot of detail. And I think it's really cool. Also, the entire set really helps to bolster this, because the whole set for this costume is just chef's kiss. It looks stunning, and I cannot believe that they got it to look this good for that cheap. Honestly, amazing job. Now, the reason why this suit exists in the comics is because Peter had to reveal his identity during Civil War, and so Tony Stark made him a more armoured suit. And now I think that's cool, but a lot of modern adaptations seem to forget that. And by modern adaptations, I mean the MCU. They seem to have forgotten that the reason that Peter needed this suit was a deliberate decision that he needed to be safer in the comics. At least that's the way that I read it in the comics, that he needed to be safer. But here in the MCU, it's just a gift suit from Tony Stark, and it's worn for like 4 movies, and they don't even get around to having a good regular Spider-Man suit until the final film that recently came out. And by recently, I mean like 2 years ago. Spider-Man hasn't been wearing a suit that looks, in my opinion, really good for years. The last Spider-Man suit in the MCU that I enjoyed was the upgraded suit, and then they ruined that suit by putting Iron Spider pieces on it. I mean, come on, I don't like that. They took a suit that I don't like, and then they merged it with a suit that I do like, and it made a worse suit. The hybrid suit is just, what if we took the worst part about the Iron Spider suit and jammed it onto the new cool suit, the upgraded suit? And then they did that, and they made a bad suit from it. But enough of my rambling about how much I don't like the MCU Spider-Man suits, except from the No Way Home final swingsuit. We're here to talk about the Iron Spider costume, and again, I think my least favourite version has got to be the MCU one. But I'm not the only person with opinions on this costume, so now I'm going to turn over to Jordan. So yeah, Jordan, what are your thoughts on the Iron Spider costume?
Well, in general, I think it's a bit of an odd choice. Considering Peter and Tony Stark don't usually have a very close relationship. I know they do in the movies, but in stuff like the comics and the TV shows, from what I've seen, they don't have a very close relationship. So having a whole suit that Tony gives him, that he wears often, it feels weird, because it ties him to another character that he's not particularly close with.
Well, I think Jordan has some really strong opinions on this as well, and I agree with him a lot on the fact that it's really weird to see those two characters interacting all the time. But that's all I've really got for this video today, and I hope you really enjoyed seeing our opinions on the Iron Spider costume, and we thank you for all the support that we've had recently. Guys, it's been amazing recording this video today with Jordan and having a lovely chat about the Iron Spider costume, and I hope you've enjoyed this one, and please comment below if you've got any more thoughts on this. Bye bye!